The wait is finally over and the Eagles have a new offensive coordinator. We'll talk about the pros and cons of this hire, plus who else is joining the offensive coaching staff, a potential scare within the defensive coaching staff, and the latest jaw-dropping news involving a longtime Eagles coach that seems to be creating an unwanted domino effect. Without wasting any more time, let's dive right into it. What's up, y'all, and welcome to 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network, the best network for all your Philadelphia sports needs. This is your host, Michael Roscoe. A lot has happened over the past week involving the Eagles, and fans are rattled, so let's talk about this latest news. First things first, the Eagles finally have an offensive coordinator after a few weeks of searching. It was announced Thursday last week, literally not even like a full day after posting last week's episode, that the Birds have hired former Green Bay Packers quarterback coach Sean Mannion. At just 33 years old, Mannion was drafted in the third round of the 2015 NFL Draft, serving primarily in backup roles as quarterback with the Rams while they were in St. Louis, as well as multiple stints in Minnesota and Seattle. He retired from professional football at the end of the 2023 season and served with the Packers as an offensive assistant working with quarterbacks before transitioning into the quarterback's coaching role. I have mixed feelings about this hire, and I'll tell y'all why, starting with the pros. So one of the pros is that the last time we hired a Packers quarterback coach to our coaching staff, that was Andy Reid. And he was hella successful with the Birds despite never earning a ring with the team. Plus, Mannion's coaching influences are Sean McVay and Matt LaFleur, and their offensive mindsets emphasize marrying the run and pass game, under center formations, play action, pre-snap motion, and quarterback movement concepts, which is especially advantageous when you have a quarterback who possesses dual threat capabilities like Jalen Hurts. He obviously works well with quarterbacks, especially having been one, and contributed to the development of Packers quarterback number 2, Malik Willis, in which he had a better season this year. During his moments stepping in for Jordan Love, Malik Willis went 30 for 35 passing for 422 yards and 3 touchdowns. Additionally, Willis ended his season with a 145.7 passer rating, an over 85% pass completion percentage, and averaged over 12 yards per completion, all of which was better than his 2024 performance under Tom Clements. Now, I know some of these numbers are a little bit lower, so it kind of skews the percentages a little bit, but the numbers don't lie, in which the fact that under Mannion, Willis did a lot better than he did under Clements. Now, is Malik Willis an elite NFL quarterback? Hell no, but his improvement under Mannion makes it hard to discredit Mannion's ability to develop quarterbacks. Plus, the way he's helped Jordan Love become better this season as well says a lot about what he can do with quarterbacks in an offense. This season, Jordan Love threw fewer interceptions, throwing only 6 compared to 11 in 2024, and increased his pass completion percentage from 63.1 in 2024 to 66.3 in 2025. These improvements may seem small to the naked eye, but this has a ton of benefits in the long run. Now, the cons of the Mannion hire, and from a coaching standpoint, he's not very experienced, and from a play calling standpoint, hella inexperienced. He's been an NFL coach for what, 1 season? Considering he started off as an offensive assistant and then the quarterback's coach for the 2025 season, that minimal amount of experience concerns me. But what concerns me more is that he has 0 play calling experience. And the last 2 times we hired a first-time play caller, it's been dog shit. Now, granted, those were internal hires and Mannion is an external hire. But regardless, they all have this recent first-time play caller experience, and the two before Mannion were trash, so hopefully this pattern does not repeat itself in Philly this year. I'm just worried he'll take a long time to adjust to coaching, not only just coaching, but coaching in Philadelphia. And by the time that he does, our Super Bowl window is either closing or closer to closing. Plus, he's been an offensive assistant, mainly helping with QBs. He's never led an entire offensive room. Transitioning from quarterback's coach to commanding an entire offense, including the run game, line play, receiver schemes, it's definitely a different challenge, especially in Philadelphia, considering the city is known as a tough market with very high expectations. And Mannion will be the 5th offensive coordinator in as many seasons, inheriting pressure to turn around a struggling offensive unit very quickly. That lack of continuity adds to the risk and the possibility of Mannion crashing under pressure, and then we get another Brian Johnson, Kevin Patullo-like scenario. But overall, Mannion's success will depend on how quickly he adjusts to play calling, how well he develops schemes around the offense with their current and potential future players, and how strong the Eagles supporting staff and leadership are in making this transition as smoothly as possible. In other news, in addition to adding a new offensive coordinator, the Birds have a new passing game coordinator as they hired former Tampa Bay offensive coordinator Josh Grizzard. Now, what I like about this hire is that compared to Mannion, Grizzard is way more experienced with 10 years of coaching under his belt. Plus, when you look at the route trees from Tampa's passing scheme this past season, they look like as if you dropped spaghetti noodles on the floor because they're just all over the place, but in a great way. These passing schemes from these route trees, there's actual fucking variety, not just fucking go balls and hitch routes like we've seen over 1,000 times to the point where I want to throw my TV out the fucking window. And then when you take these guys together, this Mannion-Grizzard pairing, Philadelphia mainstream media likes it. And we all know how critical they are. And they are also very critical even when we're winning or doing well. So when that same media isn't in this DEFCON 1 crisis mode and is excited about this pairing, that tells me that that's a good sign. In other news, shifting over to the defense, it was reported that Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio had contemplated retirement, prompting a hypothetical search for replacement candidates such as Jonathan Gannon and Jim Schwartz, which probably would have been an absolute fucking nightmare. However, other reports later indicated that he was convinced by members of the organization to come back for at least one more season. And I'm glad they were able to do so with the state of the team as a whole right now, with so many changes on the offensive side and then losing our DB's coach to the Cowboys. If Fangio had retired and stayed retired, this team would fucking fall apart, considering since Vic Fangio was hired, we've built up the veterans to succeed in his scheme, as well as drafted defensive players who would best fit his current scheme. If that same level of shifting happened with the defense, I'm not sure if I would want to know what that would look like. And finally, the latest news dropping Wednesday night, and this is a big one. 13-year offensive line coach and run game coordinator Jeff Stoutland is parting ways from the Philadelphia Eagles. He posted on X stating, "Philadelphia, I've decided my time coaching with the Eagles has come to an end. When I arrived here in 2013, I did not know what I was signing up for. I quickly learned what this city demands, but more importantly, what it gives back. The past 13 years have been a great privilege of my coaching career. I didn't just work here. I became one of you. Stout out." And then immediately afterwards, reports had indicated that Stout could have remained part of the Eagles organization as he was offered a position under new offensive coordinator Sean Mannion, but he declined it, officially marking the end of Stoutland University in Philadelphia. Now this, I know for me and probably a lot of Eagles fans as well, this is a lot to unpack, especially with what ESPN Eagles beat writer Tim McManus stated in his article about this subject. He stated, "Things were less harmonious this past season. Injuries to right tackle Lane Johnson and others along the front played a part in the ground game's regression, but there were other dynamics at play. With the offense stagnant, head coach Nick Sirianni took on a more active role over the latter part of the season. And he and then offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo began incorporating different run designs in an effort to kickstart the operation. Stoutland was not consulted about the changes to what he felt was an appropriate degree, a league source said, to the point where he no longer desired the title of run game coordinator because he felt it no longer fit his job description. That experience gave him pause about continuing on with the organization, the source added. Now, damn. This shit makes me even more irritated. Especially because the toxic buddy-buddy duo of Sirianni and Patullo actually stripped Stoutland of his run game coordinator status and then changed up the run game without giving Stoutland a chance to independently figure things out, especially when the problem wasn't necessarily a Stoutland coaching issue, but more so an injury issue. Sirianni sees an underperforming O-line, to which it was compared to last year, and instead of letting him figure things out as players get healthy, he essentially gives up on Stoutland and does the only thing that Sirianni fucking does on this team, which is micromanage to make things the way he wants without it actually making things better. People have complained about Sirianni's actual role on this team, his personality, demeanor, behavior, whatever you want to call it. And you know, sometimes with me and some others, we've taken it with a grain of salt. But between some of the players' frustration all season long, Sirianni refusing to let go of an offensive coordinator who was actively making the team worse, Vic Fangio considering retirement, and now Jeff Stoutland leaving, Sirianni is single-handedly fucking up the morale and the culture of this team. And it's a perfectly good reason now to see why this offensive coordinator job was considered unattractive. I'm reaching a breaking point with Sirianni now. If this team collapses in this upcoming season, it will be without a doubt because Sirianni self-sabotages this team. I'm kind of afraid of next season if this coaching shifting / departure trend continues. Hopefully, we've seen the end of unwanted wild news like this, because I don't know how much more Eagles fans can take. All right, y'all, that is it for this episode. Thank you all for joining so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or follow on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and TikTok by searching at 2nd and 15 or by the full name 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast. You can also find the audio for each and every single episode releasing Thursday mornings on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Player FM, or wherever you get your podcasts, with the video uploading to YouTube later that same day. This episode, 2nd and 15, and Old City Sports Network are brought to you by Warlord Beard Oil. Head on over to warlordbeardoil.com and use our promo code OLDSPORTS for 15% off your purchase of beard oils, washes, soaps, apparel, all types of products for your beard care needs. This is a veteran-owned company, so if you would like to support this company as well as veterans, check out warlordbeardoil.com and use our promo code today. Once again, thanks y'all for joining in. This is 2nd and 15, a Philadelphia Eagles fan podcast powered by Old City Sports Network. And before I go, this episode was originally going to be a Super Bowl preview episode, but a last-minute situation kind of changed things up on me for that. So on Sunday, February 6th, I will release a Super Bowl preview episode with enough time before the big game, so don't forget to go ahead and check it out. We'll see you all on Sunday. Don't forget to stay fly like an eagle, and as always, go Birds!